the last one.
What a great turnout. It's good to see everybody. We want to welcome some of our elected officials with us today. We have City Council Member Ken Metters Jr., City Councilwoman, who is also on the Board of Directors of the Chamber, is Lisa Graves. We have our City Manager, Randy Smith. Did I miss anybody? Wendy Knight, just a little part of the Chamber. She's our chairwoman of the Chamber, and she's also the CEO of Sea Turtle Inc. So we're really excited about today's event and our speaker. We've all been anxiously awaiting the arrival of the new director of Visit South Padre Island. So we're happy that we have Kelly DeShaw with us today and her crew. I do want to say thank you to your crew for setting up a wonderful spread of breakfast and audio visual, so it's a very nice presentation. I also want to quickly thank South Padre Island Brewing. I always get it wrong. Mark and Jose and Lisa and the crew for hosting us this morning. So without any other announcements, I will go ahead and turn it over to Kelly.
Hola, y'all. I've been dying, yeah, thank you for laughing. I've been dying to practice that. As somebody who spent half my adult life in Texas and the other half in the Spanish-speaking Caribbean, I feel very in casa here in South Texas at South Padre Island. And I had been practicing that. I'm gonna have to work on my delivery. I didn't get enough laughs. So in case you didn't hear it, let me try again. Hola, y'all. That's gonna work for me. I think I need to refine it a little bit. Thanks so much for the invitation. Thank you all for coming. Those of you who came from outside of town, be that from across the causeway, Laguna Vista, Port Isabel, Brownsville, or Austin, or Houston, thank you so much for being here. Thank you to Wendy for her leadership over at the Chamber. Really looking forward to leaning into this dynamic organization. And to Jeanette for giving me this opportunity at the last minute to get to know all of you all. Looking forward to talking about myself a little bit, but really the purpose for me this morning is to know you all a little bit better. In a tourism world and in a tourism economy, and I have to look around. I know I got some hoteliers here, so I'm going to be careful. The hotels like to think that people come to a destination because of the hotels. And while a nice hotel can definitely draw, it's the character and flavor of a community that really makes a destination pop. It's the way we story tell our history, our uniqueness, what makes us special, and that comes through the kind of businesses that we're in here this morning. I shared with our host and hostess that I'm recently coming from a place, and I do know how to speak Spanish, but this is how they call it, Palacios, Texas. It's on Magorda Bay, and my cousins who live in Georgetown are really close, and they come down all the time. And when we went out in Palacios, my cousin asked for an IPA, and the bartender said, "What's that?" And they said, "Oh, Kelly, you gotta leave. You can't stay here." So I'm super excited to be able to bring them to the brew company where we've got 5 kinds of our own brew here. And really looking forward to seeing what else I can discover about South Padre Island. In order to do that, to understand you all a little bit, I want to see what we might have in common. So bear with me. Just spilled coffee on myself. I'm going to share a little bit about myself, and when it's relative to you, I need you to raise your hand. First off, I am a mother, and I recently celebrated Mother's Day. Anybody else? Happy Mother's Day. I am in that age where I'm also a caretaker for my mother, and so I'm also caretaking. Anybody else? Yes. Hello, my friends. My solidarity there. I am not from Texas. lives on the island. Nice to see you. Nice to see you all. I tried, but housing was really tough when I got into town because I am taking care of my mother and I need something besides a 2-2 condo walk up. We had to go over there to Laguna Vista. Anybody else? My neighbors in Laguna Vista. How about multi-generational folks from Port Isabel? Anybody multi-generational from Port Isabel? John, would that be you? Okay, let's make it Valley. Who's multi-generational from the Valley? Nice. Glad to have all of you all here as well. I am bilingual. Hablo español, tanto como inglés. Who else is bilingual? Love that. I love that. I really do. Anybody trilingual? Oh, Denise? Yeah, más o menos, menos. Very good. And then I started my career with the Papa's restaurants up in Houston, Papa Dough, Papa Mia, Papacitos. Now they have Luby's. I am such a fan of the Papa's restaurant. Anybody work restaurants when they were younger? Oh, look at that. We've all got it in our blood. That's why we belong to the chamber. We're all leaders. Nice. How about my hoteliers? Anybody work in hotels? Yes, no, maybe a little bit. Good, good. You have to be a special breed to work in a hotel. You really do. I tell young people when I go to talk to them about working in tourism, you better like working weekends and nights and holidays, because when you're a low person on the totem pole, that is your schedule. When everybody else is out having fun, you are working. I loved it. I tell you a little bit about myself, and some of you have heard this, but this is my line. I will use it several times. I grew up on Fantasy Island and Love Boat, Friday night lineup. Anybody remember? Yes, thank you, my contemporaries. And I thought, oh, that's the job I want. I want to go out and solve people's romantic quandaries. The only quandaries I've been sort of solving are my own, and I managed to get into a lot of those. But I have been working in travel and tourism now for 30 years. I'm a graduate of the University of Houston, Hotel Leadership, International Leadership School. Went off. I'm a second generation Peace Corps volunteer. My parents were both Peace Corps in Panama, and I had the good fortune of being sent to the Dominican Republic. Anybody been to the Dominican Republic? Nice. Punta Cana? No, La Romana. And when I finished my 2 years of service at the Peace Corps, then I was recruited by the largest tourism developer in the Dominican Republic at that time. When I started in Punta Cana, we had 800 rooms, and when I left, we had 40,000 hotel rooms in the area. Big business. Well, I'm going to ask you to hold your applause for that, because I don't think everybody is going to agree with that, and I am looking at our police chief, who's, God, and none of those people pay taxes I can use. And I did that for several years. I went back and got a master's in planning. I'm very interested about cities and communities and how you make things work together, not on the small scale of a hotel, but on the larger scale of a community. Did some more time back in the Dominican Republic, worked on some national parks in the Caribbean, and then my daughter came home and could recite the Dominican national anthem, and excuse my language, I said, oh shit, gotta get back to Texas. So I applied for and got the job in Galveston, Texas, and so for the last 12 years I served as the director of tourism for Galveston. Just like South Padre, a great product, very different in what it is, but a great time to hit it and a great time to be there. And I could see the end coming. When I started, we had under 1 million visitors, and when I left, we had 8 million visitors in a community of 50,000. And depending on who you talk to, I was either beloved or hated, right? Because tourism is like any other industry. It has a smokestack. You don't see it, but it's the congestion, it's the trash, it's the crime at times. It's the cost of living that makes it unviable for other people to live there. And so those are the marginalities or the side outputs of tourism that is partly my job to help you manage as we go forward. I was having a conversation with somebody beforehand, and they said, I saw in your profile that you really, in the newspaper, that you really blew up some of these destinations, and I mean that in a positive way. You have to be careful what you say these days, right? That you really increased the volume of visitation in some of these destinations that you worked in, and I have to say that I'm not completely supportive of that, and I can understand that, having lived in some of these places. And so I think our task that we have today, the task that I have before you, is to say yes if. Yes, we would like to see development if it meant that tourism was stable year-round. Yes, if it meant that we didn't have to host everybody at the same time in the 3 months that is the summer holiday. Yes, if the kind of folks that came to visit us valued our history, our identity, our culture, and our story. Yes, if those folks leave here, and when they leave, they're advocates for us. And they talk about what a great place South Padre Island is, how good the fishing is, how kind the people are, how fabulous the weather is, and my God, have you tasted the seafood? Straight out of the book. That's the vision that we want. Not just a lot of bodies moving through it. In some of my old jobs, we talked about a high-value visitor. And a high-value visitor is not somebody carrying Prada and wearing Gucci shoes, although we will take those kind of folks. It's somebody who leans into the destination and understands that they're a temporary visitor in a place, and that this, for lots of us, is our home, and these are our jobs, and that we want this place to continue to prosper. So my vision for the Convention and Visitors Bureau, and this is not informed by me alone. And during my job interview, I emphasized a lot that I'm a facilitator. I am a professional tourism professional, I guess is how you'd say that. But I'm here to do the job that you all as the community would like us to do as the city of South Padre. Part of the vision that I've been mandated is a family-friendly product. Let's get out there year-round and talk to families. A lot in Texas. We're going to push out of the valley and into San Antonio, Austin, Dallas, but then also what we call those touch states, Oklahoma, New Mexico, Louisiana. We are undoubtedly the best beach in Texas. Punto. Bar none. There's not another one. And then, I'm always surprised to see all of these license plates from the mid-east up there, Indiana and Minnesota, and people here think that this weather is great this time of year. And so we'll push up there, and family-friendly is really our message. Not to say that we don't want to advocate and promote to spring break, but that is 2 weeks out of 52 in the year. And my job is to make sure businesses can survive all of that time. The other area that we're leaning hard into is going to be Mexico. We have a great relationship with Monterrey and the other states along the border. There is high value in some of those communities along there. And the city is already a sister city with San Pedro, which is actually one of the most affluent communities in all of Latin America. And so to lean into this Hispanic side of our culture, of our identity, is really advantageous for us, and actually already represents about 30% of the visitation, or the visitors that we're getting from across Texas and the United States. The second area we're going to lean into is sales and group business. A lot of people will come for leisure, but leisure means that you've got time off. It means that you're on vacation, or you've got a weekend, a long weekend, maybe you've got a special event in your life. But we need people consistently walking through the doors, and that comes through courting businesses, courting corporations, courting groups, reunions, weddings, get-togethers, fraternities. And we have a sales force that goes out and does that, so that those of you not in the business, they're not only booking the convention center. These folks are booking as well the hotels here in town, and they're booking other venues as well. They work to bring people in from across the state in big, large groups. I went through, some folks reached out to me, some of our council members as a matter of fact, reached out to me one weekend when the convention center was completely full. And they said, what is going on through there? We had 3,000 drill cheerleaders with all of their parents, and you can imagine how many, if you've got 3,000 participants doing tumbles on gymnastic mats, how many parents are in the audience cheering them on. And that was their 14th year to come. They left a trail of glitter as they walked out of the convention center. You know, those are the kinds of things that we want to lean into. When we talk about being a sports destination, we're not talking Clover sports, meaning baseball or football. We're talking pickleball that people will come and do in the winter. We're talking drill. We're talking martial arts. Hell, we're talking quilting as a sport. And then the last thing, and the most relevant, I think, to you and here as part of the vision, is we need to organize the local market. And what that means is exactly what I said. Well, I can get people here. Once they're here, you all need to entertain them. I don't, as the Convention and Visitors Bureau, I don't have a hotel room. I don't have a restaurant. I don't have turtles in my backyard. You know, once they're here, it's up to everybody to bring them in. And so my job is to make sure you can communicate with those visitors. How many of you know if your website or your business is on the Visit South Padre Island web page? Not nearly enough. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Hope you're updating it. And everybody who has a business or an event or a service to offer needs to be listed with the Convention and Visitors Bureau. And the easiest way to do that is to come through the chamber. Because we will be coming through the chamber to organize through the chamber all the businesses that are already leaning in. So that if I have a group of 50-something-year-old women that are going to be coming through in February, I can lean out and look at the directory of the chamber and say, what do I want to make an itinerary for them? What do I need to tell them that they can't miss? What event is happening here that's not brick and mortar that they can see all the time, that's only here in February for them? We are concierges for the visitors that come. We are the first line of interaction with all of those folks that are going to come across. And for us to do our job, we need to be able to point and shoot them at those of you who are going to respond to them and be able to engage with them. And so that means that if you're not enrolled with the chamber, or you're not on our website, you're not on our radar, and you need to be. And you know, lots of folks think they don't have a tourism job, but everybody has a tourism job. If you work in conservation, if you work in real estate, if you work in photography, if you're bringing a special event, all of you are playing in my sandbox as someone who's bringing tourists or engaging in tourists, and I want to know you. The last area that we're going to work in, and I do not have an opinion, I have not been here long enough, and I've seen enough of my colleagues go bald over convention centers. But we manage the Convention and Visitors Bureau here, the Convention Center. And I've got a box back here. If you guys haven't been through the box in the last 12 months, I need you to walk through it at some point. Really great dynamic going on there. You've got the birders on one side, they're there all the time. We got the kite surfers on the other side. And then you've got meeting attendees moving through the building. The location is fabulous. You can't think of another place on this island, and if you know it, come and share it with me, that you've got a view of the bay like you do sitting on the back porch of the convention center. It's único. It's really lovely. And once Christy and I and Wendy and council member Aaron Hart can start this ecotourism plan that the council member just created, you know, I think you can see a lot of synergy moving along in that area as well. But I'll tell you, that box is not competing with anybody. It's not competing with Galveston. It's not competing with Corpus. It's sure as hell not competing with Austin or Houston. Who we're competing with are hotels. There are hotels that have the same size meeting space in their own hotel with rooms attached, with food and beverage attached, with catering attached, that I don't have in this box that I'm trying to sell with the vendors that I have, with the salespeople that I have. So we do need some kind of upgrade. We have beautiful natural amenities that will sell South Padre Island, but the box does, the pig needs a little lipstick on it, if I could say that. That decision is up to council. They have been making decisions consistently. You are one of the few communities in town, in the state of Texas, that I know has a reserve, like you do, to be able to do the things that you need to do. And so I look forward to seeing what council's going to decide on that. In the meantime, we are going to reestablish South Padre Island as the preeminent coastal destination, not of the Texas only, of the Gulf, because that is where South Padre deserves to be. This is a long-term, iconic, historic legacy of a place for Texas. People have connections to it. We're going to go out there, we're going to pluck on those heartstrings from all those folks that have been here and love Padre and been aficionados. We're going to come out and we're going to work with each one of you that's come and been here today. Thank you for taking time to come out, so that we can represent you and we can make everyone fall in love with South Padre Island. To do that, I do need a couple of things from you, and I'll end here. First off, as I mentioned, if you think you should be on the website, the first thing I need you to do is check to make sure you are. And if you haven't looked at your listing in a while, check. And then in our office, and I don't see Mal here today, but Denise, if you would stand up and wave. She offices with Mal, and she will come out and take photos. She will help you identify your listing. If you've got social media, she can help with that. But you got to raise your hand and come identify yourself to us. Anybody here know what the single, Denise, you don't get to answer this, single most influential social media is today? Anybody want to hazard a guess? Huh? Who said it? Who said TikTok?
I did.
Ah, Christy got it right. Who knew people are looking to buy hotel rooms and go to places on TikTok? Who's on TikTok? I'm not going to raise my hand because I'm not on TikTok. Look at you guys. So if you need to know more about TikTok, come and talk to Denise. She's the TikTok queen. And we'll help with content. We need content all the time. So if you're doing something cool, you've seen something, you've got a new room, you've got a new look, give us some photos, and we're going to put that on our social media. The next thing I need from you is that on June 23rd, we'll be hosting a tourism summit. We're going to bring down our marketing group that we work with. That's who's put together some of these images that you've been seeing, together with some ads. We'd like you to meet them. We've got a great group of people that pull data from us. You're not going to believe what we're able to do with the data now in marketing, and we want to share all of that with you. And then we want to make sure that all of you all are registered as well on these promotional mechanisms that we at the Visit South Padre have. And then the last thing I'm going to ask you is that if you have an idea about what we should aspire to be, and we will always be South Padre Island with Port Isabel, but what other communities would you hold up as an example for us? I hear Destin a lot. I hear Port Aransas is got it going on right now. Right, I see some faces. Maybe, maybe not. But I need some ideas. Because what we're going to do is we're going to benchmark ourselves against what are the things that we think are really positive in these other communities, and how do we make those things happen. I was working in Rockport before I got here to you all, and one of the things I really like about Rockport, is they really lean into the arts and culture quite a bit, and they spend a lot of money there. I liked Palacios because they're spending money on history. So, we have to spend. That's how you decide what you're going to be, is where you put your money. You can talk all you want, but until you start funding the things that are important to you, then it's just talk, right? All right, so I am free for any questions that anyone might have.
I wanted to make a comment. I'd like that you've been to Rockport because for years I've had family that live there, and I've gone to their Hummingbird Festival, Oyster Fest, a 4-day Oyster Fest that brings in so many people the first weekend in March, and there's so many things that we can copy and get the tourism down here from Corpus Christi.
And they have no beach. They have
no beach.
They have a terrible beach.
Yeah.
Yeah, Rockport's a great. I hear a lot about A30 or 30A. I always get it wrong. Whatever the Emerald Coast in Florida is. Any other questions for me? Any thoughts? Anything that I said that sparks your thinking? Well, then I'm going to take it that just that I left you with a lot of deep, reflective thoughts on that. I am going to be here so you can come and talk to me if there was something that I said that really struck a chord with you. Before I go, I do want to introduce all my team members. I was really fortunate to be able to come to a place where there was a very passionate and dedicated team already. Thank you, Mr. City Manager, Randy Smith. We have all just been authorized new titles, so I'm going to roll those out right now. I am your CEO for Visit South Padre Island. I'd like to introduce your Chief Sales Officer, Myra Nunez. Your Chief Marketing Officer, Cindy Trevino. And then also on our executive management team, my right hand, Alexis Mendy. I did it. If you need anything, any of those folks are happy to help you. And then also, I do want to introduce Denise Villalobos, our social media manager and international affairs. Then we have Luis Rios, who manages all the special events. So if you have a special event that you're thinking about, he's a good person to connect with as well. Mariana Estrada has been filling hotels in the conference center for us for months. And my most important guys back here, Francisco Serton. I had to practice that one. And Robert Arbusto. Great. Hey, thanks so much for being here, for taking time this morning to come and meet me. I'd love to shake your hand and want to express my gratitude to the city of South Padre and to the Chamber simply for this opportunity to come and work with you and for you and to see what great things that we can do over the next decade. Thanks so much.
For South Padre Island. It sounds like between the Visit SPI and the Chamber, if you guys are a member and you need help, we've got you covered on both ends. So if you're not a member of the Chamber, come see us. We're at 4113 Padre. Beverly in the back is our membership and events manager. She'll take care of you. So we'd love to be able to help you in any way that we can. I want to mention that we do have a ribbon cutting this evening on Pause and Stay, if you'd like to join us for that. And come see us at the Chamber anytime that you'd like. And thank you all for being here. And thank you, Kelly, for the presentation and the crew from Visit South Padre Island. Thank you very much and have a great day.